Am I the asshole for asking my Bill to stay with me when my husband was traveling? My husband, M27, and I, F25, got married a year ago. We're living together. My family doesn't live here, they live about 2 hours away. He recently got a promotion at his job. Our house is a little bit further away from the city. We live in a farm-type house, although it's not a very big portion of land, but we have neighbors that have bigger properties. Point is, our neighbors live kinda away. With his new position, he'll need to travel sometimes. His first trip was last year. He had to travel for 2 days. I honestly did not have a good time, because I was alone and away from neighbors. I did not felt safe. I spoke to him and we agreed that next time I'll ask a friend to come stay with me. Well, he needed to travel last week too. This time it was 3 days. I told him I was gonna ask a friend, Jennifer. He left early in the morning. I thought about it and then I started overthinking. I don't think I'll feel safe if it's just Jennifer and I. We're still 2 women alone. So I called my Bill Ashton, M24, if he could come stay with me instead. He agreed, so I called Jennifer to tell her my plans had changed. He came home around 6 that day. We had dinner together, chat and watched a movie together. We mainly did those stuff during the time he stayed here. My husband and I spoke on THW phone, but I didn't told him I had called his brother instead of Jennifer. Ash and I are close. I am with all of his family, so I didn't think he would mind. My husband came home last Thursday around 8 p.m. When he saw that Ashton was here, he was a bit taken aback. As it was late, I told Bill to stay one more night if he wanted to, and he did. I could tell my husband was upset. I asked him what happened and he told me nothing. The next day, after he got home from work, he was still upset, so I asked him again what's going on. He said that we had agreed that I was gonna call a friend. He didn't agree with having Bill over. I gave him my reasons as to why I called him instead. He still said that I shouldn't have called him because I know that their relationship is not the best. We argued and now he's even more upset with me for not even apologizing. He asked if I am gonna call Ash every time he goes out and I told him yes, I'll do that because I don't want to stay alone.
She is 100% in the wrong. Okay? For one, if she thought it was cool, she should have called him first. She doesn't respect her husband in the least. And it shows through her actions, where she would change plans without even having the decency to tell her husband that, this and that, I'm changing these plans. So it shows a lack of respect. It shows them, or just anyone, how she views the marriage, where she will do what she wants. She will, you can see that in the end too, where he says, okay, are you going to continuously tell him to come over? She said yes, with no care. Like, literally, it's like she would do what she wants, and it shows the lack of respect. And I seriously think that's a road for problems. Just that part alone, where she doesn't respect him enough to tell him things, and she doesn't respect him enough to, take his thoughts into account, where she makes the decisions. Okay, then I think she should work. It doesn't sound like she's working. She sounds like she's a stay-at-home mom, or stay-at-home future mom. So that shows you she should work then. I don't know. I mean, feeling unsafe. It's move to a more safer neighborhood. I don't know. Also, it is really, it's unbelievable how she could think it is right to do to have another man in your house when your husband is away. First of all, yeah, it's his brother, but by what he says, that they don't have a good relationship, for one, and two, it's still another man. It's not like not blood related man in your house. You have to think that, okay, I've heard plenty of stories where spouses cheating on someone with someone else in their family. So that's not uncommon. That's not uncommon of a occurrence. So her husband has a right to, one, worry and be defensive about it, because he wants to mitigate those risks. Because she's thinking, oh, it's his brother. What is that? So, I mean, you make it seem like no brother has ever hit it on his other brother's wife before, his other brother's girlfriend, or either. Ridiculous. She has no sense of risk mitigation. that shit can happen, right? She thinks only danger, but what if, you know, the brother hit on her or wants to try something? That can happen. It's just, I'm just saying, like, the wife is so oblivious to things where she can't see other possible scenarios, and she can't even see her husband's concern. So I think, for one, he has to reevaluate his marriage because, like I said, she lacks respect for him, and she doesn't care how he feels. And she doesn't see the seriousness of it, where she let another man, whether she knows that man or not, whether he knows that man or not, into her life, into her house when she is alone. It is ridiculous. I think it just shows her, I don't know, lack of self-awareness, lack of just logic. Okay, I think that if anything, that they should, I don't know, I mean, figure out something else. I mean, he has to reevaluate the marriage. If he wants to fix it, which I don't know, because already in their marriage, this is how he treats her. I mean, treats him. I only can see it gets worse. It will only get worse. When a woman disrespects you, have no respect for you, it's not going to get better as time goes on. So, but if he wants to still try to figure out a way to make it work, I'll say have her stay with family, you know, with her parents while he's away. If he has a planned trip, then, you know, take her, drive her to wherever the parents are, his parents or her parents, and, you know, do that. So she's not completely alone and she's with her family. But I just see this is not going in a right direction because of it is so true. When a woman does not have any respect for you, doesn't value your opinions and thoughts, it will only lead to disaster. And as time goes on, it only gets worse. There's not a likelihood that it will get better because she didn't even care what he said at the end. She didn't even care about his feelings and thoughts, so it shows. So yeah.